there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, so today we're talking love and marriage, Huntsville. Y'all know why y'all here. Anything I say is alleged and my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal, you guys, but I think after Monday's event, you guys, things are about to get personal, but not for me. For the cast of Love and Marriage Huntsville, what am I talking about? What's going on? You guys, you're not going to believe this, but Tasha K has entered the chat. She's entered the chat for none other than Love and Marriage Huntsville, you guys. Now, she's going to want you to pay that money, you know, for that app and everything else, because I don't know how far this is going to go and if she's ever going to spill it all for real on her main YouTube, unless it's like an exclusive interview. But even with that, she would probably show like a teaser on her YouTube to get you to try to buy her app and see, you know, the full thing. So what has happened, right? You know, we know Monday, we were reacting to the conclusion of the blow up between Martell and MARSAU, and Martell, Tasha caught a stray and everything else. Tasha was on Mr. Mondays with Carlos King, Dustin, and Tambra from Bell Collective. Tasha, out of nowhere, for zero reason, confirms the Revenge P, confirms the cast has seen the Revenge P, confirms that it has been true for the past couple of years. Could have been, a former friend, at least, or at least an acquaintance, and let Mel know. But then wants to throw in there, as she's trying to defend her little 304 phase in college over 20 plus years ago, tries to, accuse Martell of being GAY and allegedly sleeping with MEN. And is claiming that a scene was deleted out of MARSAU, allegedly naming some, potential men by their government name. And my thing the whole time was, how do you know their government name? And that is really for real that they were with Martell. How are you so certain, MARSAU? How are you so certain? And so nonetheless, it created a whole bunch of backlash. Unfortunately, the cast knowing about the Revenge P got overshadowed, but we're not going to overshadow it here. We're going to make sure that is the focal point, because I've told you guys time and time again, I don't care about Martell's sexuality. What does that have to do with anything? No. I just want this cast to stop it with the fakery, stop trying to run Mel off the show, and stop trying to throw rocks and hide your hands, and can we please keep a lie straight? Stop thinking that y'all are about that life. Y'all can't handle any scrutiny the way that Martell and Mel can. Y'all can't do it. Y'all can't. If nothing else, despite how I felt about, Martell and how he's treated Mel and everything else, what I will say is him and Mel understand the assignment when it comes to these cameras. Whether it's a Tasha K camera or an LAMH camera. So you guys are not ready for prime time. I keep saying that. So anyways, Tasha K is saying basically that, she didn't like, she went in on Destiny a little bit, felt Destiny was obviously an instigator, obviously a bone collector, and started all the foolishness, and said that this was really supposed to be between the men. I also felt like she's kind of holding back on what her true feelings are on Tasha, but, basically along the realm of like what goes around comes around. Essentially said, which is what I have been saying this entire time since this broke, was, if your husband is so certain about these alleged men that Martell has been intimate with, what does that say about your husband? Because basically, these men, if they were all cheating together, if they were all doing the nasty together and all these things, how would you know specifically these alleged men that Martell has been with?
And Tasha K does not believe that Martell is gay, G-A-Y. Doesn't believe it. Says that, you know, the tea that she's got is MARSAU has been with way more than 20 women. That basically 20 was just being conservative. And I know some people are probably like, well, who wants MARSAU and da-da-da-da-da. Listen, you guys. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised, and it wouldn't surprise me even more, even just with MARSAU's, you know, face on the show, it is going to attract something, right? Now, anyways, the real tea is that she has been contacted, allegedly, by at least one mistress, you guys. At least a mistress of MARSAU, so to speak. And basically she's teasing or implying once she gets the audio, once she ever gets whatever it is she needs, she's going to be back on that app laying it all out, right? And exposing it, right? Because for 9 seasons, everybody says MARSAU cheats, but they never have proof, da-da-da-da-da. Tisha, for no reason, makes GAY allegations on Monday, and I was like, I was doing the Birdman hand rub. I was like, this is about to get good, because it's like, technically Martell has to be on his P's and Q's because he's got 2 active cases, one of them being a criminal one, and he's kind of be on his P's and Q's, but that doesn't mean that others can take action on his behalf. Now, I'm here to tell you guys, because I know some people are going to suspect that this is all Martell. But if you go to Carlos King's page, there was a post that he screen grabbed from Funky Dineva's live the other day, where Funky Dineva was talking about how he felt a way about Candy being on YouTube and about Carlos King being on YouTube because he felt that they were trying to come in and steal the bread and all this and that, and they already had fame, they already had followers, they already had exposure, and was also trying to say that anybody that's trying to come into YouTube now and you're trying to do reality TV, you have to find a way to make it your own, because a lot of people are just doing it, but they sound the same and not many people are taking off. And so then he's now saying that Carlos King has found his stride on YouTube. Well, that particular post, Carlos King had clipped it, left a comment about, you know, how he calls Funky Dineva the legend. Funky Dineva's in the comments like, literally, I just got off live. I literally just said that. How did you clip it so fast? And then guess who is in the comments, you guys? Tasha K, the trifecta, you guys. The trifecta of Tasha K, Carlos King, Funky Dineva. Because even though Funky Dineva made it seem like he was airing out Tasha K about, you know, when she was trying to spill tea on what happened with TGIF and everything else, I'm like, they're not really, I still think they're good. I still think they're cool in some capacity, right? And we know what one thing Carlos King will do when he wants a certain narrative pushed. He goes to certain YouTubers. He has certain YouTubers that have at least 100,000 subscribers to push whatever narrative that he wants out there. It's clear as day. Clear as day. So, also Crystal Jordan, Crystal XOXO is in the comments as well, who does those Collider articles, you guys, that has some alternative facts in there. But anyways, I think Carlos King somehow allegedly is connected. Here's why. I was looking at Carlos King and Dustin's face, their pained faces, when Letitia was, you know, I guess, quote unquote, what she thought was her big one of exposing Martell. And while they may have not had shocked reactions on their faces, I kind of felt they were pissed. I felt they were kind of pissed off, right? And walk with me here, right? Because here's the thing. If you are, since both of them are part of the community and have their own stories, have their own, you know, way about how they go about their lifestyle and everything else, if in fact this is true about Martell, people are going to feel a way about somebody else, trying to tell, their story for them, trying to expose their sexuality for them. And I think that's part of why they had a certain look on your face. If you go back and watch, they had a certain look. No, they weren't shocked, but they had a look like they low-key were pissed at Tasha that this is how she's going to move like this. This is how she's going to, treat people like this. It reminded me when Andy Cohen got pissed at Nene Leakes when she was referring, I think she had said the F word one time, referring to the community, and that did not go over well with Andy Cohen. You could tell by his reaction, he was not featuring it and everything else. This was a long time ago. But it reminded me of that when somebody is either saying a slur about the community or they're trying to, out somebody that they think is in the community, right? And even Carlos King, that's why he tried to jump in, and he was like, "You mean allege?" And Tasha was like, "There is no allege." And I was like, "See, this is not going to end well." I could see the wheels turning for Carlos King, that all of this fake love, all of this fake praise that he was trying to prop the Scots up to just completely torpedoed, just completely blew up in smoke right before your eyes. Because here's the thing, you guys. When is Carlos King going to ever turn on Martel? I told you guys what was going to happen with this. I told you guys they were going to pretend the revenge P never happened. And I told you guys, because Martel is out of storylines, here comes a brand new one that Tasha and MARSAU just wrapped up in a bow for him to stay on the show and keep his job. Because even Carlos King kept asking Tasha, would her and MARSAU forgive Martel? Is the friendship salvageable? And all this and that. And she kept saying, no, it's completely done and this and that. No. Carlos King didn't like that. It's one thing if Mel's not filming with Martel for obvious reasons, but he's made it a point, and it reminded me of that, rant Martel went on. Remember he went on that rant the end of last year, I think it was, before he got arrested, where he was talking about, how the producers told him to bring Mel flowers to that scene that they had. But he also said, Carlos King, I dare you to fire me. And he also said, Carlos King, you keep saying the Holtz need to take the show back. The Holtz need to take the show back. And that stuck with me. Because although Martel is many things, it sounds like Carlos King still, regardless of how he feels about Mel, wants the Holtz to be the focal point of this show, whether they're together or not. He still wants them to be the centerpiece because he knows that they're good TV, and he knows, good or bad or otherwise, they're going to be able to handle what's thrown at them. And they've been open enough, and more open than the other cast members, so they know that they're going to give the content. And if they're not the story, they will make sure to find a way to be in the story. But everybody can't maneuver that in reality TV. Like how certain people are mailing in this DUI storyline and just not even showing up. It's just literally blending in with the furniture. But I say all that to say, I think that this is not going to end well for MARSAU and Tasha, because you're doing too much backtracking, number one, on Facebook. And if Tasha K truly has at least one mistress, that could open up the floodgates. If allegedly MARSAU has been with way more than 20 women, right? That can open the floodgates. And also, Carlos King is going to use this to make Martel look sympathetic. He's going to make this about how people can be disrespectful to the community. I already know what that storyline is going to be, you guys. It is already set up. This interview is already going to be teed up right down to the timestamp and everything. And he is going to once again make Martel look like the victim. and make Tasha look like she is completely, evil and all these things, you guys. It's right there. And then the cherry on top is going to be if and when any of these mistresses come forward, these alleged mistresses of MARSAU that come forward. And if they've got something scandalous or something salacious, or they potentially even know about some of these other women, it's curtains, you guys. It is absolute curtains. Why is it that Tasha's not saying anything, you guys? And now all of a sudden she's trying to, be like Mel and Stormy, and now all of a sudden wants to promote her kids' line, right? Before she didn't care. Before she could care less. But now all of a sudden she wants to be active on social media. Now all of a sudden she wants to be on TikTok. Like how Mel's on TikTok, and like how Stormy's on TikTok, and how Destiny recently has been on TikTok. Okay. And how Kimmy, I think too, is now trying to be on TikTok. The same TikTok that if a deal isn't reached, might be curtains for the US in early 2025. But please join TikTok now, make it make sense. But I'm saying all this to say, I think Carlos King has something up his sleeve, and he can use this scandal to make Martell sympathetic again. Because there's already people, you guys, whether they like Martell or not, that are going hard in the paint for him. They're going so hard in the paint that they're ignoring the cheating, they're ignoring the revenge pee, and everything else. No. We're never going to forget that, you guys. We're never going to forget that. But here's the thing. The Scots played this all wrong if they thought that Martell was not going to respond in some way, either directly or indirectly, allegedly, to GAY allegations. It was completely unnecessary. And like I said, Tasha, your mom said worse on her own platform. Really had you out there wide open on her commentary. But instead, you go after Martell. And it's not going to end well. Like I said, the moment Tasha K has that receipt, and if it opens up the floodgates, like I said, and more mistresses are confident to come forward and everything else, because I think they realize now that they probably aren't going to get the same level of backlash as Martell's side chick. But it's going to be interesting because they've, really the wives of the Scots have made it so that they refuse to believe, at least to the TV cameras and the TV audience, they refuse to believe there's no way their husbands could have cheated. But they know off camera exactly who they're married to. And I find it interesting as well, anytime they're actually confronted about the cheating, even up until this last couple of episodes with MARSAU, he's not denying it. He's never denied the cheating allegations. He always comes back with a smart answer or a rhetorical question or something along those lines, but he never outright denies it. And that's why I never felt like, I just felt that either they made a pact not to discuss it on the show, or they have something in their contracts to where they can't discuss it or whatever, but for whatever reason people can still bring it up. And that's how they're going to move. And they're going to pretend that it's all a lie. Because that's what their argument is. Oh, since there's been no woman that's been produced, we can't take it seriously. You don't have proof, you don't have receipts. But if somebody apparently has at least one mistress's contact information, who did that contact information come from? Who forwarded it to who? Because like I said, I know a lot of people are going to say Martell is behind this, but I think he has a mediator in between that is fueling, because they do this every time. When they need a certain story out there, there is certain bloggers they go out to that have more than 100,000 subscribers to push that narrative. So perhaps Martell or somebody else could have been the original source. That's up for debate. But you can't tell me somehow the trifecta isn't involved in some capacity to push this forward. That we've, beat the Mel and Tell storylines to death. and, you know, they're going to feel a certain way about Tasha having the audacity on Monday. We're still not going to forget the revenge P. And they're going to want to teach them a lesson about playing ball in this industry and not going out of order and completely gutter in this industry. And that's the piece that they missed when you were not ready for prime time. So there's that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.